Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so welcome to the last session of the day. I got the 4:30 p.m. slot, and I was teasing with Rose backstage that she had to put me last, and that I would be standing here, the physical barrier between a large group of people and free alcohol. So I can certainly empathize. I'll try to get my first slide up going here. And so we'll keep this short, sweet, fun, light, informative. A lot of what I'll talk about is just a reiteration, actually, a lot of what's been already talked about today, and we'll go from there. Are you guys able to see the slide here? Okay. My slides are black, too. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'll just wait. I purposely chose that title, the true final definition of what is product marketing, to kind of poke fun at it. Like, I feel like we often are trying to force fit our roles into a box, into a one-size-fits-all definition. We've heard a lot of definitions today, but in reality, we know that product marketing is very different across different orgs. I've met people here working in B2B, B2C, B2B2C, and product marketing is different at all of these orgs, so we'll talk through that. So again, I'm Stu Kendall. I'm the Director of Product Marketing at Foursquare. Who's heard of Foursquare? Many of you probably have heard of them from the mobile apps, like the check-in apps, right? They were pretty popular 10 years ago, and many folks still use them now, too. And we're also a large B2B company that helps organizations use location intelligence. That's location data, location developer tools, location analytics and software to build new products and make better decisions. So I lead a really great product marketing team there, and we'll talk about the definition of product marketing. Okay, so our goals today, too, is to help 0 to 1 product marketers crush their goals. 0 to 1 means you're new to product marketing. Maybe you're the first product marketing hired at a company, which is kind of a tough spot, but can be very fun. You're doing a lot of 0 to 1 projects. Or maybe you're moving into a leadership role, so you're kind of going into new 0 to 1 projects. I feel like we're all kind of doing some 0 to 1 work, so this is for us. To feel slightly less overwhelmed and more in charge of our functions. I was listening to the Q&A. I was talking to some folks. I get the sense that many folks are feeling a little overwhelmed in product marketing. There's so much work to be done, and we almost feel like we're a little bit of a reactive org. We heard this in, I think, the panel, like a service org. Like people submit a ticket, a request, and we get it done, right? So how do we reverse that? How do we become less reactive and more proactive? And then lastly, these are just opinions, right? Everyone up here on stage will share what works for them, but it might not work for you. So we can agree, we can disagree, debate, learn, we can do that together, okay? Okay, so one thing about stats on stage is that most people, when they put a stat on stage, they're just making it up to support their story. But my stat here is that I'm convinced that 96% of B2B professionals don't really know what product marketing is. Like, they kind of know. Like, they look at the two words, product and marketing, they know what those two words mean, something to do with product launches, positioning, and this is for the whole company. They have a sense, they've worked with product marketers before, but they don't really know at their company what is product marketing, what's the role, what are the goals, how is it defined, what are the priorities? And I think part of that is that us as product marketers, we've almost failed, or we've struggled to articulate that. So some common traps that I think I see a lot of product marketers fall victim to, and these are all traps that I've done. I've got 3 of them here. These are common things. 1, we Google it. We go to Google. We say, what does product marketing do? Or we type in product launch checklist, product launch playbook, positioning messaging framework, B2B go-to-market strategy. We type these things in. And ironically, one of the best results that come up is the PMA. Like, they have hundreds of templates, guides, playbooks, how-tos, hundreds of things. We come to conferences like this, and people walk through their frameworks, their ideas, their templates, their things. But we go to the internet. Or 2, we look at our job description, right? We read the job that we were hired for. We go to LinkedIn jobs. We read other product marketing jobs. We go through it. Something weird with job descriptions, if you actually read through them for product marketers, content marketers, they look like they're made for a VP or CMO, right? There's a ton of stuff in there. Like, it looks like you're getting hired to do everything, which is really tough. And then 3, we rely on others. So this freakish image down here, I use DALL-E, the AI photo generator, and I typed in, it's really small, it says, a crowd of business people that all need something from you. And this is what it came back with. So this guy right here is a product marketer. It looks like he's gotten his fingers bit off by the sales team for all the requests and things that they need him for. And we kind of rely on other people. They are submitting requests. They send us Slacks. They send us emails of stuff to do. And we almost let them dictate what is product marketing. These are common traps. So the result, what happens if you do too much of this, right? This is a balance. If you do too much of these things, your job starts to look like this. And like this is just one slide. We could do 2, 3, 4 more slides of this. Positioning, messaging, storytelling, voice of customer, customer research, industry research, market research, it goes on and on. Like, and all of these individually are product marketing. But if we do all these things too much, our roles start to look like this. We start to try to do all of these things this week, this month, this quarter. It's a lot of stuff. And we end up feeling like we're spread thin, we're overwhelmed, and the worst feeling in the world as a marketer, we feel like we're under-delivering. We're not getting things done. We're not moving the needle. You start to feel like this. So, I just gave it away. Okay. So, who decides it? Who gets to define? Pretend you didn't see that. Who gets to define product marketing? Who owns the function? Who decides what is product marketing? What are the goals? What are the priorities? Who decides that? It's you, it's me, it's us, right? We get to own the function. So if you feel like you want to take more ownership over the function, or you want to provide more clarity, more definition to it, here's how I would approach it. There's a few things that I would do first. And these 3 things are not new, they're not innovative, they're not novel, they're not my ideas, they're fundamental things. We've all heard these things, but it's good to remember them. The first, understand your customers, right? We all hear this. We see this on LinkedIn from Chris Walker. We read these things with PMA, with HubSpot. It says you must understand your customers. But few people, I think, frankly, put in the work to actually do it, but you need to deeply understand your customers. It's some form of understanding your ICP, the personas. Are they more technical? Are they more business-oriented? What's the maturity of the category, the industry? Deeply understand your customers. There was a question earlier about how many customer calls should I be doing per week or per month or per quarter? I think my answer to that is like it doesn't matter as long as you're doing it. As long as you have a process, the rhythm of deeply understanding your customers. That's what matters most. 2, simple stuff. Your company goals and your business model. Right? Simple stuff. Your top 2, 3 strategic goals of the company. Your founders, your execs, your CEOs, they owe you this. What are the goals for the companies? How do you make cash? How do you make money as a business? Are you focused more on new business or retention? Net dollar retention, net recurring, net revenue retention. I think in the last few years, we've seen kind of a pendulum shift of the left to the right here. A lot of folks, a lot of companies were focused on growth at all costs, new business, and that dictated what product marketing would work on. A lot of that pendulum is shifting back to the right on our customers, on gross margin, retention. Understand kind of where your company is at in that shift, and you can think about how that might impact your role as a product marketer. What's your go-to-market strategy? Are you tops down, bottoms up, product-led? We just heard about product-led. Are you sales-led, marketing-led, community-led, whatever-led? Figure out how you go to market today. If you're an early stage product marketer, you're probably trying to figure this stuff out as you go, but figure out today where you stand, how you go to market. Deeply understand it. We talked about B2B, B2C, B2B2C. These things, these differences will dictate product marketing. And then lastly, there's been a lot of talk about like other functions that kind of overlap with product marketing, like product management, sales enablement, demand marketing, content marketing. These things have natural overlaps. You should definitely understand those roles at your company. It's often where I see 2 functional teams working on the same stuff. Competitive entails is a common one. You'll see a product manager spend all this time working on competitive intel stuff when you say, hey, that's my function, right? So you should understand what people are working on, talk to your functional counterparts, what are they doing? And then lastly, your marketing team goals, and hopefully these align to number 2, or you're maybe in trouble, but hopefully they align to number 2. And there was a conversation at the beginning of the day, who should product marketing report to? Certainly depends. I have some strong opinions on this. I think in B2B it should certainly be marketing, but it doesn't matter. If you report to product, to sales, to ops, it doesn't matter. You need to understand how your marketing team works. What does your VP or CMO care about? What are they on the hook for? What are their goals? Is your marketing team more focused on lead gen or demand gen, right? That's a spectrum, that's a shift. Are they focused on creating demand versus capturing demand? A lot of companies are kind of going through a little bit of a transition, or trying to figure out what their balance is here. Work with your marketing teammates to figure out where you are there. It might impact or dictate what you work on. With a caveat, you want to do all of these things, and this takes work and time. You still have to GSD. Does anyone know what GSD stands for? Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear up here, but it means get shit done. Speed wins. It doesn't matter if you're early stage, mid stage, growth stage, IPO. You still have to get things done this week, this month, this quarter. Move the needle. So if you're going through the steps to deeply understand the fundamental stuff, you still got to get things out the door, right? Talk to your executive team, your sales team, your customers, your marketing team. What can you do to move the needle this week? That's important. So, and if you haven't, if you're looking to take more authority over the function, right? If you want to take charge of it, be more proactive. If you haven't done this yet, do this. This has already been talked about a few times today. I'm going to say it again. Build a PMM charter doc, right? This could be a charter doc, a PowerPoint deck, a wiki, the internet, doesn't matter, whatever form you like, but build the asset that defines product marketing at your company. You are the author of it. Your product marketing charter doc will look different than mine, different than someone else's, and that's okay, but you authored it, you own it. A few things that I'd recommend you put in there. One, the org chart. For whatever reason, people love org charts. They want to know who reports to who, whose boss is who. Put that information in there. People like to know it. Two, your goals. Often these are OKRs, but whatever goal-setting framework you decide to use, put your goals in there, the metrics that define success of product marketing. And I like to give a little context of why you chose those. Sometimes context is helpful when people are reading through this. Three, the hard part, the responsibilities. What do you actually do? Remember that huge list? Write down, what does product marketing do at your company? What's in, what's out? What's different than sales enablement versus product management versus the other marketing teams? You know, put a stake in the ground. What does product marketing mean? And write this stuff down. And also other go-to or how-to resources. People want to know, how should they work with you? How should they get in touch with you, submit requests, build a working relationship with product marketing? And then lastly, and probably most importantly maybe, is your roadmap and priorities. Something we love to do with our product manager friends is we love to bang them across the head for the product roadmap. Right? Where's the roadmap? When is the roadmap going to get updated? When are you going to update it? I need the roadmap. And that's all fair, right? That's a good thing. That's a perk of the job. But it's also fair that they demand that back of product marketing, right? Where's your roadmap, product marketer? What are you going to deliver this month, this quarter, this year? What are your priorities? I know you do a lot, but what are you doing this month? Put that in the charter doc. And a tip. This is something I've learned and I'm still getting better at, can do better, particularly over the last few years, particularly if you're a remote org, hybrid, distributed. You have to over-communicate this stuff 5 times more than you think you actually do. Right? You send one Slack, one email, here's a charter doc. You do it once, it's not enough. Over-communicate it. Make it findable. Whatever intranet, wherever you share knowledge within your org, make sure that your information is there so people can go find it. Don't assume people know. And something kind of magical happens if you do this well, if you over-communicate this well, you document things well, you're proactive, ad hoc requests start to vanish. It's really weird. All of those inbound requests you were getting, like the one-pagers, the how-to guides, the talking points, the PowerPoint decks, they start to diminish. And I've thought about why this happens. I think it's because in the absence of information, people get anxious. Like when there's a void of information, people get really anxious, particularly the sales team. Salespeople are super anxious all the time. Right? They're trying to hit their number this month, this quarter. They're anxious. They got a GSD. They need you to GSD so they can GSD. So they're anxious. If you don't tell them what you're working on, what your goals are, how you're going to help them close deals, they get anxious. They start throwing things against the wall. They send you 100 requests, and they hope something sticks. If I can submit to marketing 100 things, if I get 5 things back, that's a win. To avoid that, if you over-communicate, they start to feel comfortable that you're there to support them. They know what you're doing, they're aligned, and those ad hoc requests start to go down. So this slide again, all this crazy stuff, this is all good stuff, but this is a lot. If you go through this workflow, right, if you go through this and you critically think, you go through everything you've learned today and tomorrow and everything you know about product marketing, and you critically think for your own company, for your own function, what does it actually mean for you right now and your priorities? It's possible it might just look like this. Maybe these are the things that actually move the needle now. Or it might look like this. One more. Yeah, it might look like this. I'm not sure. It probably shouldn't be all of them, but you can define what moves the needle for product marketing at your org right now. So, what does product marketing actually do? What do we actually do? The answer to this question is the same answer. We've heard this, the same answer to many things in life, business, professionally, and personally. It depends. You tell me. Right? You guys are the owners of your function at your company. You will own the function. You tell me what product marketing means at your company. Thank you.
Stu, that was awesome, and I totally agree with you. I think it is, the definition of product marketing is in your control. And there are very few senior leaders who are going to come and define it for the team. They're going to give you a lot of problems to solve. But that's exactly where teams can step up and define how we do it for each organization. So more problems coming your way, Morningstar team. So, but anyways, let's get some of the questions. How do you translate some of these principles and goals for your team?
I'm trying to think, translate principles into goals. I think like we talked about, you have to understand your company goals, understand your marketing team goals, and then you can define product marketing goals. And they should naturally ladder up one into the other. Right? We've heard some really good examples of different goals. Marketing source pipeline, marketing source revenue, the win rates, sales cycle. Like these are all really good goals, but I can't figure out what goals you should set for your company. It depends on your business model, your company, your product, your customers. So I think you have to understand the business, understand your company and marketing goals, and it'll become much more clear than what product marketing should do.
I think the great question up here, can you help someone not Google how to find a PMM charter and share yours?
Yeah, and it's okay to Google stuff, right? It's okay to come to these awesome conferences and find templates and frameworks because they're all really good and they're there for a reason. The story there is just not to overly rely on that stuff, to blindly copy things and not critically think of, does this matter for me right now? Okay to Google charter docs. There's many good templates out there. I will give whoever asks this permission to Google it.
Sounds good. Other questions from the room?
Who's excited for happy hour?
Right? Yeah, I think that's on people's minds.
Yeah.
This was therapeutic. Thank you. Great way to end the day. I think that's a great comment. So expect that one to get thumbed up a little bit here. So, and then feels like the charter could be a passive way to have you manage or defend your role, or have your where to go. Okay.
I think like what maybe that was getting to is like it also helps you to say no to things, right? When we feel overwhelmed, sometimes it's hard to say no. When things are really clearly documented of like what is product marketing, your goals, your priorities, your roadmap, it's much easier to say, hey, thank you for that request. It's not a priority. Here are my priorities.
All right, now we're ready for drinks. This is good. I like it. Yeah, this is good stuff. Well, I think you made a difference today, is really what I'm seeing here, which is awesome. So thank you for that. It was really great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.